Yo, what is up, y'all? My name is Robert Donaldson, and welcome back to another edition of Rob's Best Bets. And in this episode, we are once again talking Major League Baseball here on Friday, May 16th. And I am so jacked up for this Friday slate. We are going to be really attacking the player prop markets heavily. And on Thursday, we did go into the red, but CJ Abrams did go yard, which is one of our strongest plays of the day. So there is kind of that silver lining in the midst of, some plays that just kind of fell flat, as well as, Adley Rutschman and Jackson Holiday being that one single away from getting our bet cashed. But with all that being said, y'all, before we jump into Friday's picks, we have to take a second to shout out today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. And if you haven't already signed up over there using promo code ROBDFB, I highly recommend you guys do so. It's essentially free money with that welcome deposit match bonus. And with these player prop market videos that we're going to be putting out, throughout the weeks, throughout the months, throughout the rest of the year, I highly recommend you guys take advantage of those markets over on Underdog Fantasy. But with all that being said, y'all, let's go ahead and jump into these Friday bets. For pick number one, we are heading out to Wrigley, where we have the White Sox taking on the Cubs, an inner Chicago battle here. And when you're looking at this matchup and the wind conditions notably, which are always a big thing when you're looking at Wrigley ball games, man, the hitting conditions are going to be very, very optimal in this game, with wind blowing out to dead center and to left field. So a lot of hitter-friendly sort of angles in this game to choose from, but a lot of these odds are really, really squished down. Now, when you're looking at the pitchers on the bump, Cade Horton is the guy that I actually highlight as the player that we could potentially take advantage of. And yes, he's a very hyped-up prospect who's coming off his first ever start. Maybe he does really, a lot better in this start, but man, his first start, he was giving up a lot of hard hits, and the White Sox are easily the lineup that's going to hold the most value inherently just because they are awful at the sport. And when you are looking at their lineup, Chase Meadroth is actually a guy that's hitting baseballs extremely hard, both in the air and on the ground. And when you're looking at his over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, I think it's a really good look, especially if he's hitting near the top of the lineup in this game. So let's go ahead and bet on Chase Meadroth to go over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs for 3 units for our first bet here on Friday. For pick number two, we are heading out to Cincinnati, where we have the Guardians taking on the Reds, and we are looking at this matchup here. Brady Singer is a pitcher that I really like to attack, and I have been attacking over the past 3-4 years in the hard hits column, because although the strikeouts are sometimes there, and when the strikeouts are really rolling for him, I stay away from betting the batters going up against him. But this year in particular, the strikeouts really haven't been there, and he's still allowing that hard contact. And unfortunately for him, he is now pitching in Cincinnati, which Great American Ballpark is just one of those hitter-friendly ballparks in the sport. And the weather conditions tomorrow are supposed to be very, very optimal. So let's go ahead and take 2 stabs at 2 players in the Cleveland Guardians lineup that I'm really, really liking in terms of their underlying and surface numbers. And the 2 players we're going to be taking a look at here are going to be Kyle Manzardo and Gabriel Arias. We're just going to take Arias to hit a home run. We're going to take Manzardo over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBIs, as well as to hit a home run. A total of 5 units between the 2 players. And I really do like this look at the Guardians lineup here. I think they're going to do damage, and I think these are 2 different players at both the top and bottom of the lineup that can really contribute to that damage in this game. For pick number 5, we are heading out to Philadelphia, where we have the Pirates taking on the Phillies. And when you're looking at Andrew Heaney in this ball game, this is another guy right now that unfortunately is dealing with the hard hits because he kind of goes through waves. Sometimes he is a pure ground ball pitcher who is actually doing really well in the sport, and even if he allows those walks or those singles or even a gapping double, he can sometimes get out of it because of the soft contact that he allows. But right now, he is getting absolutely tagged, and there are a number of righties in this Phillies lineup that I really do think can take advantage of that, especially with the optimal hitting conditions in Philadelphia expected tomorrow. So let's go ahead and take two different looks at this Philadelphia lineup with Alec Bohm and Nick Castellanos. These are two guys right now that are both right-handed hitters, both hitting the ball extremely hard. And for Nick Castellanos, we're going to take him over 1.5 total bases as well as to hit a home run. And for Alec Bohm, we are going to do over 1.5 total bases and lay off the home run prop. So in total right here, we have 6 units between the two players. And I really do think that both of these guys could have a really phenomenal day, whether it is against Andrew Heaney or against that Pirates bullpen. All right, next up, we have the most disappointing team in Major League Baseball, and that is the Baltimore Orioles. And they're going to be taking on the Washington Nationals in this game. And on the bump for the Nats is Mackenzie Gore, who, although he is a competitive pitcher, and although he has those strikeouts and kind of limits of damage every single outing, he does kind of have that susceptibility to giving up extra base hits and the long ball and just a lot of hard contact in those underlying numbers. And I get it. You look at the Orioles lineup, you're going to see a lot of left-handed bats that may kind of struggle to take advantage of a left-handed pitcher who is getting hit hard. But one hitter in particular on the Orioles lineup is actually a righty, and he hits lefties just historically really, really well. We've cashed a lot of money with him over the years betting against lefties, and that is Ryan Mountcastle. And in this game, I really do think that he's going to be able to stamp a baseball. He's hitting baseballs extremely hard right now. And again, Mackenzie Gore does give up that hard contact to those right-handed hitters. And Ryan Mountcastle, I get it. You know, he might be not the ultimate spark plug to this offense, but in a one-game scenario, I think he is absolutely live to hit a 450-foot monster in this game. So let's go ahead and take him to go over 1.5 total bases for 2.5 units. And for an additional 1.5 units, let's go ahead and take him to hit a home run at plus 700 odds. I was shocked by that number, but I think it's an absolutely great value play, and I am totally willing to risk it in this scenario where, yes, the O's need to find some offense in any way they possibly can. All right, next up, we are heading out to Toronto, where we have the Tigers taking on the Jays, and the Jays have been a very up and down team, and a lot of that stems from their pitching, whether it's the bullpen or the starting rotation. And in this game, they're trotting out Bowden Francis, who, in my opinion, is kind of one of those quadruple A starting pitchers where, is he good enough for triple A? Yeah, he's actually probably better than average in triple A baseball. But is he a quality Major League Baseball pitcher? I just don't think so. And there are a lot of really great left-handed bats right now in this Tigers lineup that are hitting the ball extremely hard and haven't really maybe gone deep because of Comerica and the conditions that they've been playing in as of late. But I look at Kerry Carpenter and Colt Keith as two guys from the left-handed side of the plate that could really do damage against Bowden Francis in this game. Colt Keith is a little bit more of a dart throw because he kind of goes through these games of just purely striking out and hitting ground balls to hitting straight line drives and gapping doubles and really giving the outfield wall a scare. And for that reason, I don't want to be too invested in Colt Keith, but at plus 550, I do think he's worth a 1-unit stab at a home run prop. And Kerry Carpenter on the other side, his home run prop is so smashed in this game, I can't even find 3-1 odds for Kerry Carpenter to go deep. So let's just go ahead and take the over 1.5 total bases on Kerry Carpenter for 3 units for our second to last bet here on Friday. All right, for our final bet here on Friday, we are heading out to Milwaukee, where we have the Twins taking on the Brewers. And this is a very interesting game because the Twins are really the hottest team in Major League Baseball. They are playing absolutely lights out right now, whether it's the pitching or the hitting. But the Milwaukee Brewers on the other side have been very, very dialed in terms of the actual pitching front, but the hitting really has not been there. Now, in this game, Joe Ryan is going to be a tough guy to kind of get to if you're looking at the Brewers in terms of their offense. But if they can scrape across 1 or 2 runs through 5 or 6 innings, they're going to be in a very good spot to take advantage of a depleted Minnesota Twins bullpen that will be without Johan Duran here on Friday. And for that reason, I actually think we're getting pretty decent value in what I expect to be a rather close game with Chad Patrick on the bump for the Brewers. And for that reason, I say we go ahead and take a shot here at the Milwaukee Brewers on the money line for 3 units for our final bet here on Friday. All that being said, I really want to thank you guys for checking out today's video, and if you do want to show some love, make sure you drop a like in this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys comment down below. But with all that being said, y'all, I will see you in a future video. Take it easy.